Hi, my name is Ethan McKean. I'm an early career software engineer, and I want to go over some of the thoughts and decisions I had making this pantry stock app here. We used Firebase for the back end, and we used OpenAI's for the chat uh, here on the left. And I also used this thing called Deep Chat for the actual component that is this box. More on that stuff later. Let's go over the functions of the app. I'll go over in the way that I implemented them. So the first thing we implemented was at the top right here was this pantry stock table. This is a list of all the items we have in stock in our pantry. So you can see we have like bread, butter, cheese, right? What's nice about it is it's got the name and then the number of items. So if I wanted to, I could remove one pizza. Let's say I ate a pizza, right? So then I can remove that, and now I only have three pizzas. Additionally, we have a filter items up here. So I could go, if I type M, it gets every item that has an M in it. So American cheese, mozzarella, mango, tomato, and then if I do MA, we have mango and tomato. Um, Additionally, at the bottom right here, we have a shopping list, right? So I can add items to our list like let's do soda, let's do ramen. That sounds good, right? And let's say you go to the grocery store, right? You buy your mangoes so we can cross that off the list while we're at the store. Let's say we bought some uh soda while we were at the store, so we'll cross that off the list. But let's say for some reason they didn't have my favorite ramen. They were out of stock, so I don't buy any, right? Um, so if I click this quick add feature here, it removes our crossed off items, but doesn't remove our non-crossed off items. It's a little tongue twister there. Um, But what that did is it added it to our pantry stock. So it just increased it or added it if it wasn't there, which is nice, right? So like it's like you can use this app to keep track of what you're buying at the grocery store, right? Make a list of everything and then cross off everything that you got. And maybe if there's something that you missed or you decided not to get in the moment or they were out, right? Whatever it may be, you could just click this quick add once you check out and it instantly adds it to your stock in your pantry. Um, Additionally, on the left side here, we have our little chat buddy. So if I say hi, it takes a second. Hello, how can I assist you today? Would you like to go over your pantry inventory, create a shopping list, or find some recipes? Uh, let's do give me a tomato soup recipe. It takes a second. It's the one downside that I have against the way that I made this. Um, There we go. So one thing is that it doesn't have a stream option, I think, or maybe Deep Chat did. Deep Chat was very tough to work with. I don't know if it is user error or documentation error, but I spent so much time just trying to get the box, like this chat box, to be this size and this shape and change the colors of the boxes here. That took me so long to figure out how to do that um, because the documentation wasn't very clear on that. But anyways, so like I guess I'm getting into my qualms already, but before I get there, let's just review. As you see, our bot gave us a little recipe here that we can follow. And yeah, that's everything that I have implemented. I'll talk about some things that I want to that I want to implement, but I'll get into my troubles and problems I had and things that came up. Okay, so first, like I was saying, deep chat. Um, so with Deep Chat, it worked. I was trying to find something that was quick and easy and simple because I was in a crunch making this particular project. I wanted to get it done on time, something that was usable. And I think this is a very great proof of concept. But it is also very ugly. I hate the way I made the front end. I would redo the whole front end. But yeah, this just it's slow. Uh, I didn't make it stream. I don't know if DeepChat had that capability of like the text stream. Uh, 'Cause it's just weird. 'Cause you're like, oh, is it broken? Am I just gonna have to wait? Uh, but other thing too is I was having the hardest time implementing function calls. Because what I would like it to do would be like, oh, give me a recipe, and if it sees that I want a recipe, it would give me a button to add another feature I wanted to implement it to be like, boom, you click and it will show all the ingredients you need. Like let's say like olive oil and all this stuff, like all this ingredients, and we'll add it into the shopping list. Or cross-reference your pantry and be like, oh, you only need 2 cloves of garlic for this recipe, right? So let me just add that, right? That's something that I would want to implement. But I just couldn't get function calls to work with Deep Chat. I wanted something, because I didn't want to have to even code this on the front end. I wanted to be like, there's got to be something where like I just type in my API key into a pre-made component that somebody made, and that's what this looked like. It's a pre-made component of a chatbot, right? And I was like, oh, this will be super easy, super simple, but it didn't give me what I wanted. Uh, Additionally, talking about the front end design, I hate what I did. Not necessarily the colors. I was trying to try something different with the colors, but I hate the way the tables look. I would have redone them with Material UI tables that look nicer. Um, but talking about how I wanted the front end to look, I will open this and talk about it. So, this is kind of what we ended up with. But the dream would have been something that looks like this. My first idea was to have tables that were adjustable and like rearrangeable. So like of pantry, of your shopping list, of your ingredient list, you can rearrange them and shape them and but I was like, bruh, that's way too much effort for the time being. Like for me to do that, implement that, and I was already on a time crunch. I was like, okay, I'll just, in my head I was like, I'll just put the tables on the side. Um, but then thinking about it some more now that the project's over and like I don't necessarily have to make something that works, but to just have a proof of concept. I think now the next step would be to have something like this where like on the left hand side here, uh, we have like our sign in stuff and like our name of our app and our brand and all that stuff and like options, just like a little sidebar. Then we have our chat here, and then on the tables part, we'd have like a little carousel to be like, okay, we're on this first one is pantry, and it's a big table of all of our pantry ingredients because you're probably gonna have a pretty lengthy list of your pantry stock, and then like you could switch it to your shopping list and so on, right? But how does this turn into a mobile-based thing? You'd be like, oh, like, how do you implement this on mobile? Do you have it just like, the tables go below the chat and you just kind of scroll down? The way I would have done this on mobile is just it's a simple chat box like this, and then you type like, oh, like, uh, what you want to say to the bot, or you could click up here on this little arrow, and then it would open up like a little sidebar that has like, oh, like take me to my pantry stock, take me to my shopping list, take me to my ingredient recipe, right? And maybe even like add more functions like, oh, saved recipes, last thing I made, maybe you want to make it again, things like that. Uh, but yeah, that's what I would have done had I had quote unquote infinite time or just simply more time. And if the project was something that needed functions like this. But I think it came out as a really good proof of concept. Where is my cursor? There it is. Proof of concept. Uh, I really like this idea that I came up with by adding things like the shopping list or the scrapped feature of implementing a ingredient list. Um, so if you want to try and tackle something like this, uh, I recommend not taking shortcuts. I recommend making your own chat box component here. Uh, you'll understand it more. It'll be. I think that's the thing is like every time you try and take shortcuts and use somebody else's code or libraries or methods, it's hard to expand upon what they already show you. It takes a very long time. Uh, so I would have just made this by hand. Actually, in my next project, I actually do make our own chatbot. So I probably could, if I wanted to, just port that from what is the next project into this one. Um, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about my project. I hope you found it insightful. And if you're looking for ideas to make, this is a pretty good one to make. It was really challenging, and I learned a lot. And I hope you enjoyed. Catch you guys later.